Good morning. This is Judge Aldrich speaking. Welcome to the Office of Tax Appeals November 18th, 2020 morning calendar. The time is approximately 10:10 a.m. In response to the COVID-19 state of emergency, the Office of Tax Appeals will be conducting today's hearing electronically with the agreement of the parties. All participants, including the administrative law judges, are participating via Webex. The video will be live streamed to the public, and a stenographer will transcribe everything that is said. The transcript is part of the public record and will be posted to our website. Our stenographer, Ms. Alonso, is using her equipment to take down everything that is said on the record. To help us make a clear record that can be easily understood when read, I ask the following. Begin any statement by stating your name. This is especially important because some participants may only have an audio connection. For the same reason, please do not use the chat feature in Webex. As I've already mentioned, these proceedings are being broadcast live. As such, any information shared on the screen is publicly viewable. If you are not actively speaking, please mute your microphone to preserve audio quality. Speak slowly and clearly into the microphone. Please do not interrupt when someone else is speaking. It's common courtesy and it's easier for our stenographer to perform her work. And please do not engage in casual conversation. If a comment can be heard through the microphone, Ms. Alonso will report it. If our stenographer cannot hear, understand, or identify someone, she has permission to interrupt at any time. Before we open the record, Ms. Alonso, are you ready to proceed? I'm getting a thumbs up from our stenographer. So this is Judge Aldrich. We're opening the record in the appeal of East LA Auto Incorporated before the Office of Tax Appeals, case number 1905-4829. This hearing is being convened electronically on November 18th, 2020 at approximately 10:10 a.m. This hearing is noticed for Sacramento, California. As a quick point of clarification, we are the Office of Tax Appeals. We're a separate agency from the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, the Franchise Tax Board, and the Board of Equalization. Today's hearing is being heard by a panel of 3 administrative law judges. I am the lead administrative law judge for purposes of conducting the hearing. I'm joined by Judges Andrea Long and Suzanne Brown. While I'm the lead for purposes of conducting the hearing, we 3 will deliberate and decide all the issues presented. Each of us will have an equal vote in those deliberations. Now I would like to address appearances. Beginning with appellant's representative, please state and spell your name. You're muted. Thank you.
Thomas Brambilla Jr. Brambilla is spelled B as in boy, R-A, M as in Mary, B as in boy again, I-L-A.
Great. And would witness O'Connor please state your name and spell it?
It's Arlene O'Connor, A-R-L-E-N-E, O'Connor, O-C-O-N-N-O-R.
Thank you. And Jason Ganem, could you?
J-A-S-O-N, last name G-H-A-N-E-M.
Thank you. And CDTFA representative, starting with the hearing representative, could you please state your name and spell it?
Randy Suazo, R-A-N-D-Y. Suazo, S-U-A-Z as in zebra, O.
Thank you. And the headquarters operations?
Yeah, Jason Parker, J-A-S-O-N, last name Parker, P-A-R-K-E-R.
And the tax counsel for CDTFA?
Christopher Brooks, C-H-R-I-S-T-O-P as in Paul, H-E-R, last name Brooks, B-R-O-O-K-S as in Sam.
Thank you. This is Judge Aldrich. The issue to be decided is whether appellant has established that additional reductions to the measure of unreported taxable sales are warranted. Appellant's representative, is this correct? You're muted again. Sorry. Correct? Okay. And CDTFA, is this correct?
This is Randy Suazo. That's correct.
Okay. So CDTFA submitted an exhibit index identifying exhibits A through E. Exhibit A is identified as relevant audit work papers. Exhibit B is identified as notice of determination. Exhibit C is identified as the petition. Exhibit D is identified as the appeals decision report. Exhibit E is identified as the department's response to appellant's opening brief. Appellant submitted exhibit index 1 identifying exhibits 1 through 3. And exhibit 1 is identified as the Department of Motor Vehicle April 10, 2015 letter. Exhibit 2 is identified as the LAPD investigative report. And exhibit 3 is identified as the DMV address record. During the pre-hearing conference, the parties had no objections to admitting the exhibits identified in the respective exhibit indexes. Therefore, I admitted the exhibits into the record. Appellant's representative, is that correct?
Correct.
And department?
This is Randy Suazo. That's correct.
Great, thank you. In the October 28th, 2020 minutes and orders, we indicated time estimates for the hearing. We plan for the hearing to proceed as follows. Appellant's opening statement, which we estimated at 25 minutes. Then appellant's witnesses will give testimony for a combined estimate of 20 minutes. Then the department will present a combined opening and closing for approximately 20 minutes, and appellant will have 10 minutes to close or rebut. Please note, the panel may ask questions of either party, and the panel, as well as the opposing party, in this case the department, may ask questions of the witnesses. Appellant's representative, you may elect to proceed with the witnesses prior to your presentation. I'll leave that decision up to you. I understand, but anyhow, so appellant's representative, shall we proceed with your opening statement or witness testimony? What would you prefer?
I would prefer to start with the witness testimony.
Okay. And which witness would you be calling first?
Inspector O'Connor.
Okay. Inspector O'Connor, I need to swear you in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Great, thank you. As I previously indicated during the pre-hearing conference, the witnesses may testify using call and response or having the representative ask questions and the witness answer, or they may testify in the narrative. When you're ready, appellant's representative, please proceed.
Good morning, Inspector O'Connor.
Good morning. I'm having a little bit of problem hearing you.
Is this better?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can you state your position at the DMV, number of years you worked?
I am no longer employed there. I retired at the end of 2015, but I was an inspector at the department for 17 years.
As an inspector, what did your job entail?
An inspector is someone that licenses and regulates anyone that holds an occupational license with the DMV.
Mr. Brambilla? Sorry to interject, but could you get a little bit closer to the microphone so we...
Hold on. Is this better?
Much better, thank you.
Yeah, so sorry about the mic. So was East LA Auto Inc. a licensed entity?
Yes, it was.
How did you become aware of East LA Auto situation with their canceling of their license?
Okay, I'm going by memory because, like I said, we did have this happen quite a few years ago. The owner called me to tell me that there was a break-in at his location. And anytime something like that would happen to a dealer or a driving school or anyone that holds a license with DMV, we recommend to the licensee to close the business down and reopen. So he called to tell me that certain things were stolen. I don't remember what it was right, now, but we did recommend for him to take that step and close and reopen.
What items does a dealer normally provide to the DMV when closing the business?
When they're closing the business, the report of sales, if they are wholesale and retail, it would be both wholesale and retail. The licenses are a wall license, and then they're also issued dealer plates. Everything that is DMV supplies comes back to us when they close their business.
Okay. The information that was dropped off to you about how many boxes were provided?
It was, again, several of them. I can't tell you an exact number, but I know the person that brought them in had to make 2 trips, one, to bring it in and then go back and get another, carrying them in. So I would say probably 5 or 6, maybe more.
Okay. Did you review the information that was inside those boxes?
Well, unfortunately, at the time this happened, my office in Los Angeles was slated to have 7 inspectors. Because of illnesses and other reasons, we were manning that office with 2 people, myself and one other inspector. So at the time when the gentleman brought the boxes in, I did not go over them. I couldn't because we were too busy. So I had the gentleman bring them in my office, planning to do it later that day or within the next day or so. So I did not go over them when he brought them in. I didn't open the boxes to see what was inside.
Did you eventually go through the boxes?
No, because that day we were swamped, and I planned to do that the following day, and that's where our problem came in.
Yeah. The letter dated April 10th, 2015, signed by you, states that the subject line, unused, used, and voided report of sale forms, wholesale and used for sale out ledger book, contracts, and paperwork.
Okay.
Correct. Is that, how did you ascertain that information was in there?
Because normally you could see what's in the box when you would go buy it. Some of them did not, it was just an open box on top.
Yep.
So when I realized that there was different things in there, when I walked by them, I knew I had to have the gentleman come back in, but I just, saw that some of those things he turned in is something that we only ask for the unused report of sales. But this dealer, when they dropped off everything, dropped off some of them that were used also. So I could see that on the top of the stack.
Can you explain what occurred after you received them and how with the records?
Well, the gentleman that brought them into my office and put them by the door. And then he left, and the boxes were there all day. And as I said, I was going to go on buy that in the morning and go and take care of the inventory of it, but I could not because they were gone.
When you say they were gone, can you clarify that?
Well, they were taken by the shredding company, the night of those boxes being dropped off was one of the nights that our shredding company came by. And unfortunately, that is where they would come and get the boxes I did want everything shredded in. But unfortunately, I didn't separate, not knowing that it was that night they were coming. And they took everything in those boxes.
Can you confirm that the April 10th letter kind of details what you've told us at this point in time?
Yeah, I don't have that letter, but what you just read to me was what, if that's on my letter, that's what I put down there.
Okay.
I remember it having, the unused report of sales, but then I did see the used report of sales. I don't remember the other things you said, but I'm sure they were in there if I listed that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Inspector O'Connor. That's all my questions for now.
Okay.
Before we change witnesses, I wanted to offer the department an opportunity to ask questions of the witness. Department, do you have any questions for the witness?
This is Randy Suazo. No questions, Your Honor.
And now I'll refer to my fellow panel members. Do you have any questions, Judge Long?
This is Judge Long. I have no questions.
And Judge Brown, do you have any questions for this witness?
I have no questions. Thank you. This is Judge Brown.
Thank you. I just had a small clarification. So, Inspector O'Connor, when you refer to the boxes, are we talking about a shoe box, a banker's box?
No.
I mean, what kind of dimensions are we?
Well, report of sales, I don't know if you're familiar with them, but the size varies between the retail report of sale and a wholesale report of sale. So the box would be bigger that the retail report of sale would be in, and it's, oh gosh, I'm terrible on sizes, but much bigger than a shoe box. Maybe about 3 shoe boxes would be that. And
So,
then the one, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, would that be approximately like the box that paper comes in? Okay.
Maybe a little bit bigger than that because there's perforations on it and whatever. So bigger than a 9x11 sheet of paper. A little bit bigger.
And you were going to mention something about the difference in size between a wholesale box and a retail box.
All right. The box that a wholesale report of sale would come in would be a smaller box, maybe the size of a shoe box. It's just a smaller form compared to the retail form.
Okay.
More of the boxes were the larger box. There's a few of them. There's a smaller, if I can remember, stacked on top.
Okay. That's all I had for you. So, Mr. Brambilla, if you want to switch to your other witness.
Should I stay on the call, or are you done with me?
Well, let me ask the department. Do you have any objection to letting this witness go?
This is Randy Suazo. No objections.
And Mr. Brambilla, just to confirm, you're finished with this witness?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, Inspector O'Connor, you're excused.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Mr. Brambilla, please proceed with your second witness.
Jason?
Yes, hi.
Hi. What are your, the question is, what are your duties what were your duties at East LA Auto Inc.?
I was the manager.
What, when did you find out about the break-in of East LA Auto Inc.?
Well, I got a call from the office on.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry to interrupt, but just a little administrative matter. I didn't swear this witness in yet, so I want to make sure to go ahead and address that now. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. Please continue, Mr. Brembilla.
Okay, I'll start. What is your job title and duties at East LA Auto Inc.?
I was the manager.
Okay. When did you become aware of the break-in at East LA Auto?
March 17, 2015. We got a call in the morning. They break into the office in LAPD and the scene. And when I got here, the girl was talking. Fatima Novella, the one she called the police. She was talking to them and showed them break-in and what we're missing.
Can you describe the items that went missing or were stolen, I should say?
I mean, it's like the police have it here was a lot of papers, a pink slip, custom credit card. I mean, whatever we use for the dealer. Was a lot of stuff missing. The checkbooks were gone. Pink slip was gone. A lot of miscellaneous papers. It's listed in a report I provided to you.
Mm-hmm. And that report is part of the Los Angeles Police Department investigative report.
Yeah, we did that one, yeah.
The information that was delivered to the DMV, was that delivered by you?
No, by a runner. I was in a hospital.
Okay.
I have my health issue. I was dealing for my AFib.
Okay, not a problem. What records were included in the boxes provided to the DMV or delivered to the DMV?
You could say everything, sales, buyback, lawyer sue for frame damage. We have to unwind all the money back, and all the stuff for the dealer. And we're lucky we didn't never get sued. We can never provide no information because if you buy a frame damage, we have to disclose it. Frame damage, we have copies of everything, file every transaction. We have to keep it for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
We have copies for everything.
And all that information, what was not stolen, was provided to the DMV?
Yes.
When did you become aware that the information provided to the DMV had been shredded?
I know the inspector called. She said, you guys brought a lot of boxes. I don't need it. I'm gonna go through it, get the stuff I need. You need to take the boxes. When the runner went back to the DMV to pick him up, said, I'm sorry, I can't provide those books. They're gone. The shredder picked them up, and that's how we found out about it. And then we called the supervisor, said, sorry, the thing happened. I'm gonna provide you a letter in case something happened in the future. You guys are protected.
Okay. Is there any way to obtain that information?
No way.
Is there any way to recreate or detail out any unwinds, buybacks, dealer buyback contracts?
No, not even. There's some cars didn't even make one payment, and the finance company asked for the check back, and the car's still out there. We don't even know about it. We cannot retrieve anything. Everything was gone.
Okay. That is all the questions I have.
Okay, I have a question. Jason, is that okay if I call you Jason?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So if you didn't deliver the boxes, how did you know what was delivered to the DMV? I
mean, that time, I have health issue. I'm diabetic. I have blood pressure. I miss work a lot. I know I'm the general manager. I miss work a lot. I was dealing with my AFib when blood pressure go up to the roof. They have to admit me. I had to put IV to lower my blood pressure thing. So like was not controllable. Like, I mean, I had issues in the hospital, and the employee, when the inspector called, I need everything. They don't understand what everything means. So they need everything. They took everything. He took the pickup. He took like about 12 boxes, big, huge boxes we bought from the Home Depot to stock up all the files on him. Everything was gone. He went to a trip to DMV without knowing. I was in a hospital.
Okay. So who instructed the employee to, I assume it was the employee.
When the inspector left a message, she said, okay, you guys are closing the dealer, and I need everything to DMV. So the guy thought everything. He loaded everything to the pickup, and he took him to the motor vehicle. And when the inspector, when she opened, when we talked to her, she said, I only seen it from the top. No, you guys brought everything. I don't need it. So anyway, the damage was done. I don't know how to deal with it now.
Okay. And during that time, did you have any kind of cloud accounting software or?
No, everything manual.
Okay. I'm going to refer to the department to see if they have any questions for you at this time. Mr. Salso, do you have any questions for this witness?
This is Randy Suazo. No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. And Judge Long, do you have any questions for this witness?
This is Judge Long. No questions.
And Judge Brown, do you have any questions?
I think I may have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Can I ask the witness, so nothing was, there were no photocopies or nothing was entered into the computer? All of the records were just originals on paper?
Everything on paper. We have it on boxes. Everything. Customer have copies. We have copies. Everything. Yeah, we make copies. We file them up. Yeah, everything manual. Yeah, I mean, whatever copies the customer have, we have a second copy for our file.
So, but you have one copy of each ROS report, say.
Each vehicle, each transaction, we have copies. Yeah, we have a report of sale. We have a contract. Each stapled to each other. All bill of sale.
But nothing is entered into the computer, and there's no other documentation other than your one copy?
No, there's, we print on the computer, but there's nothing being saved. Just we have to keep it manually.
All right, I have other questions, but I think I will ask the representative. So I don't have any other questions for this witness.
Okay. So, Mr. Brambilla, I think we're going to switch over to your opening statement at this time. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes. Yes.
Proceed when you're ready.
All right. East LA Auto Inc. was doing business and keeping its records due to some unfortunate events with regards to the theft and the transfer of those documents to the DMV. East LA Auto is unable to not only support, but is unable to claim any of the unwinds, dealer buybacks, or any sort of accounting methodology or reports, because only the originals or copies of the clients or the purchaser's documents. So we can neither deny nor confirm the amounts that were provided by the DMV, which the CDTFA based its entire report on. During the appeals with the CDTFA, there were a couple or quite a few duplicate entries that were on the DMV's reports. So the taxpayer believes that if they had the original records by which to confirm, we could agree that the sales tax, the sales and the related sales tax that would be reported would be closer to what was filed because of the unwinds, the buybacks, the vehicles that were purchased with only a minimal down payment and no further future payments were made. We're kind of left in a position where we can't even support where we're at no fault of East LA Auto in general. So we are kind of at a spot where we can't even follow due process on our side because we don't have the records. And that's my statement.
Okay. So Judge Long, do you have any questions for appellant's representative, excuse me?
This is Judge Long. No, I don't have any questions at this time.
Thank you. And Judge Brown, do you have any questions at this time?
I do. Mr. Brambilla, I understand everything that's been presented here about what happened to the records. My question for you is what, and I've read all of your briefs and filings, what are you saying that our office should rely on in terms of information to make an adjustment, the adjustment that you're requesting?
Our position is that we can't even provide anything to say that it's not a, we believe that we filed the appropriate sales tax report paying the proper tax at that point in time. And any additions were due to duplications and unwinds, and we shouldn't be subject to those additional taxes, that sales tax related to that to those sales, because we can't even prove that they occurred, and it wasn't through no fault of the company with the D&B department, the D&B shredding company inadvertently destroyed records.
This is Judge Brown. Mr. Brambilla, I'm sure you're aware of the regulation in the California Code of Regulations, Title 18, Section 1698, that says that the retailer is responsible for maintaining their records. How do we, as the Office of Tax Appeals, get around that to find, to find for your position?
The taxpayer did keep all the records and maintained all the records, had the records until it got into the hands of the DMV, at which point we lost control of those and are unable to protect our position for the paid in tax. So we're kind of left at a spot, the CDTFA has relied on the DMV's recording of sales to create the liability, and we feel that that liability isn't correct because we don't have the records, which were actually destroyed by the DMV.
I also noticed that in your briefings you argued that there were duplicates. The VINs were duplicates. For yes. There were, okay. My question is, in the appeals decision and recommendation that ordered a reduction based on the department's concession, I believe it was that there were they found 6 duplicate VINs. My question for you is, does that reduction address the duplicates that you are arguing existed, or are you saying there were more duplicates that were not accounted for?
No, those duplicates account for the inconsistency in some of the reporting of the DMV, let alone the items. Those were already included. Those 6 were already included. The records, we believe, with the unwinds, where we sold a car, the person didn't make the down payment, so we have to undo those, but that information got sent to the DMV records, but we had to unwind, the sale never occurred, as well as the dealer buybacks where East LA Auto had to buy a contract back because the purchaser never paid the payments, and so we had to repo, so all those trackings were lost, so we weren't able to reduce the liability or properly report beyond or after the theft date.
So you're saying those aren't were not included in the reduction in the appeals decision.
Correct. Those were not in the appeals decision. It's only the duplicates.
All right. I think those are all of my questions at this time. Thank you very much.
Okay, I had a question. So are you asking for us to disregard the Consumer Motor Vehicle Recovery Corporation or CMVRC fee report? So there's Revenue and Taxation Code section 6481 provides that CDTFA may base its determination of the tax due upon the facts contained in the returns or upon any information that comes within its possession. In light of this, in light of Revenue and Taxation Code section 6481, what authority, if any, is there to disregard the CMVRC report?
The basic premise is that we can't even confirm what's on there. What sales occurred, that didn't occur, how they occurred. You know, just the unwind where people go put a $500 deposit in on a car and then take the car, and then the car is wrecked, and then we get the car back. So we can't even say, okay, these cars shouldn't, but the DMV is recording them as sales. And so we're at a spot where we can't even contest anything because the records were destroyed. We're kind of handicapped at the sense because there are no records. None of the contracts are there to show what the status is of that. Oh, wait, we repossessed this, or what are we repossessing? How are we doing this? There's nothing. We're left at it, and fortunately, it was done at the hands of the exact same institution that the CDTFA is relying on to create their report. You know, it would be a different situation if those records were destroyed by our own hands or destroyed by our own malfeasance or own issues. But we delivered all those records to the DMV and they were destroyed by the DMV. And we're left at a spot where we have nothing by where to, how to proceed and how to recreate. And, you know, the company was closed and shut down, and we're kind of left at a spot where we don't know how to proceed. And again, nothing was done by East LA Auto directly to destroy the records.
Thank you. I have a question for the manager or witness.
Yeah.
Are you still online?
Yeah, sure, I'm here.
Could you tell me who is in charge of filing the returns?
Well, filing, we had an accountant, he does it every month. We send all the books to him, and then he go through it, and then he mails the check for sales tax.
Okay.
And
so
also, Mr. Bombila, we have a lot of cars. The people purchase them in the credit card, and then after a month or two, we got charged back, and we never even got those cars back. They're gone with the wind. Also, I have those. We have them. I mean, like Mr. Bombila said, we left like we can't do nothing. We can't fight for anything. I have everything right there. You can lay it at the table. Everything black and white. Everything right there. Everything is gone.
So you said you have an accountant that would prepare your returns. What information was given to the accountant for those returns?
Oh, we give them every month, whatever sells, whatever vehicle we sell, we give them the contracts, and then we give them the contracts, and then he add everything up, how much we collected sales tax, and he mailed the check to the state board.
And when you refer to he, the accountant, who is it you're referring to?
His name is Jim Dongler.
Okay. And so you said that you would provide contracts to the accountant. Everything.
Every vehicle. Yeah, of course you have to. Yeah, everything. You have to go through everything. Whatever vehicle we sell every month, I had to take them all the books to go through it, and whatever we collect sales tax from the public, we have to pay you.
And so after you found out, what was the date that you found out the DMV records were destroyed?
We found out March, the DMV record was destroyed Let me find out for you. We found out April 10, 2015.
Okay. And did you make any attempt to contact your return preparer to see if they had any of the records?
Yeah, no, they don't have anything. I take the books, and then he go through it, and then he add up the sales tax, and he tell me take it back. After 3-4 days, we'll bring it back to the dealer. He doesn't keep anything in his office.
Okay. I think those are all the questions that I had. And 1 second. Oh, I believe Judge Long may have a question.
This is Judge Long. I just have one quick question. I was a little confused by the dates. This question is for the witness. You mentioned a March 17, 2015 date. What was that in reference to?
Okay, the 2017, let me look. And okay, March 17, 2015, that's when they break into the office.
And what about the April 10th, 2015 date?
The April 10th, 15, here, this is when the record that was destroyed at DMV.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was just my last question. Thank you.
Okay, and Ms. Rumbilla, just to be clear, you concluded your opening statement, so it's okay if we switch over to CDTFA for their presentation and closing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. CDTFA, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed when you're ready.
Okay. This is a corporation operating 3 used car lots, all located in Los Angeles, California. The seller's permit start date is December 1st, 2012. The initial location, which is on East 4th Street in LA, operated from December 1st, 2012 through June 30th, 2013. The other 2 locations began on July 1st, 2013. The other 2 locations, the first one is on East 3rd Street in Los Angeles. The second one is on East Cesar Chavez Avenue in Los Angeles, and operated through the end of the audit period. The audit period is from December 1st, 2012 through March 31st, 2015. The permit closed out on March 31st, 2015, which is the end of the audit period. A new corporation was formed, which operated the 2 remaining locations. This is the appellant's first audit. The appellant did not provide any records for the staff to review. Federal income tax returns, general or subsidiary ledgers, dealer jackets, sales contracts, purchase invoices, bank statements were not provided. The staff obtained information from the Department of Motor Vehicles and the department's consumer use tax section cuts to verify whether taxable measure had been properly reported. Exhibit A, page 3. The department reviewed Consumer Motor Vehicle Recovery Corporation, CM, VRC fee reports, which were obtained from the DMV for all sales made by the appellant. The CMVRC listing was comprised of individual vehicle sale information, including estimated sale date, vehicle registration date, registered owner name and address, legal owner name and address, make, model, year, odometer reading, vehicle identification number, which is the VIN number, and vehicle license fee. The vehicle license fee code for each transaction corresponds to the range of selling prices. The department used the lowest selling price within the VLF, which is the vehicle license fee code, to range to estimate the selling price for each vehicle. Exhibit A, pages 24 and 30. Audited taxable sales per DMV reports totaled roughly $4.3 million. But the appellant only reported taxable sales for the audit period of approximately $1.9 million. A difference of $2,431,669 was revealed. Exhibit A, page 22. The assessment is net of unwinds. No adjustments were made for bad debts. The appellant could not show losses on repossessions had occurred. Since no federal income tax returns were provided, it is unknown if bad debts were claimed on the income tax returns. Exhibit A, page 31 and 32. In addition to unreported taxable sales based on DMV records, the department also obtained purchase data specific to the appellant's DMV dealer license number and/or name and address from the auction houses for the period of December 1st, 2012 through March 31st, 2014. Vehicles not included in DMV sales information were scheduled separately, and a request was made to the department's consumer use tax section to obtain the DMV history for each vehicle. 4 vehicles sold to California consumers totaling about $25,000 were identified and scheduled as unreported taxable sales. A roughly 5% error rate, percentage of error was computed. This was the 25,000 divided by the 500,000 roughly of total sales that occurred from December 1st through March 31st, 2014. Reported taxable sales and projected to taxable sales of roughly 1.1 million for the audit period from April 1st, 2014 through March 31st, 2015, for which no auto auction purchase information was provided. The resulting assessment from additional unreported taxable sales based on cuts information for purchases not reported on DMV sales reports was $80,447. The appellant has not provided any records to support its reported sales amounts and has not presented any documentation or information to repeat the audited taxable sales amounts. The department's calculations include information obtained from the DMV and auction houses, which was associated with the appellant's dealer license number. Audited taxable sales include the lower range of values to estimate the selling prices of vehicles, rather than a mid-range amount. Use of the lower sale amounts benefits the appellant. Without evidence to the contrary, the department recommends no adjustment and requests the appellant's appeal be denied. This concludes my presentation. I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Judge Long, do you have any questions for the department?
This is Judge Long. I have no questions.
Judge Brown, do you have any questions for the department?
This is Judge Brown. I may have a question. Mr. Suazo, if you have a dealer that is in the situation that you heard that appellant was in with the records being destroyed, would you expect them to have any sort of backup records from anywhere?
I would expect them to go to a third-party source. Normally, a used car dealer would have certain finance companies that they deal with regularly, and they could go back to them and ask them for the information. They also stated that they had an accountant that was dealing with some of their stuff. They probably also had information available to them. If you look at the way the paperwork is provided, it does look like it was done on a computer. It's sort of hard to, in this day and age, to not use a computer for accounting purposes at a dealership. And if you look at the police report, there's no item in there saying the computer was gone. Although this may be a time where a cloud network wasn't available, you would still have the computer available. Again, the fact that they provided no bank statements when you could have easily gotten bank statements from your bank. The fact that they did not have federal income tax returns provided to us that would have shown possibly bad debts that were not provided to us. They should have had that at least. There's a lot of other things that I could probably provide to you in maybe a day or so, but off the top of my head, those would be the things that I would look at, because again, finance companies or used car dealers deal with certain finance companies all the time, and they could just go back to them and ask them for, hey, how much should we finance this for? What was the amount of down payment provided? And other things of that nature. The taxpayer is saying that there was a lot of cars missing, or there was a lot of cars that were repoed. Realistically, there was 604 cars listed in the exhibits from the DMV. When you do a pivot table in Excel to see if there's any duplicates using the vehicle identification number, what you'll find is you'll find 47 doubling up, okay? And 12 of those were already given credit for to some degree because, again, that would be the 6 cars that were provided in which they were given excuse me for one moment, the outlines. And then there was the other cars, there was 18 other cars, which they're saying it was repoed. And they could have went back to the financing company to get information from that. They did not do so. In addition, the repos, it's on them to provide the evidence that the car has been repossessed, as you stated earlier. So that's what I would have tried if I were them, at the very minimum.
This is Judge Brown. Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Appellant, would you like to make a final statement, a rebuttal to the department, or further address any of the questions the judges had?
No, I think we've provided everything we can.
Okay. We have your evidence and argument in the record. Is there anything else you would like to tell us before I submit the case?
At this point, no.
Okay. Thank you both for your time and for being flexible with the hearing format. We're ready to submit the case. The record is now closed. The judges will meet and decide the case based on the evidence and arguments presented today. We will aim to send both parties our written decision no later than 100 days from today. The hearing calendar is now in recess. We will resume hearings at approximately 1 p.m. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.